This is John again. I was wanting to talk to you about these poor old children they're taking away from the mothers and fathers that's trying to, those poor people, there are a lot of them Mexicans coming from Mexico that's coming over here trying to get a better life, and their children maybe are with them, or they may be coming on their own by themselves, you know, like a brother and sister or whatever, or just one or two. Their families, a lot of them, their families are traveling together, and once they catch the mother and father, they detain them and ship them back to Mexico, and they take the children and send them to these FEMA camps. And they said they separated 2,000 family members in just 6 weeks' time, like that, taking their kids away from them. Now, this has been going on since Obama was in office. You know, we know, I believe Obama's the Antichrist, and he'll be back in power after there's some sort of huge catastrophe coming up. You know, after June 12th, when Trump had the meeting with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, that he said we don't have to worry no more because there's peace on earth. You know, they made a coin to commemorate the peace summit, or whatever they called it, denuclearization of North Korea, and Trump agreed to things, and North Korea supposedly agreed to denuclearization of their country. You know, I don't believe it, and they made a peace coin with the dove carrying what is that, olive branch or whatever it is that represents peace, to represent that meeting in Singapore between Trump and Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Commemorate that was on June 12th. So, as the Bible says, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them as travail upon a woman with a child. So that's going to be probably next. I will assume that's what the Bible's talking about. I could be wrong, but there's a very good possibility that's what the Bible's talking about when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. So I would think there's a good possibility that could be anytime soon, and June 21st is a real good watch date that something could happen. I'm not saying it will. I don't have no idea. Only God, Yahweh, and Jesus knows that. But it is a good watch time for something to happen. And if you're not saved, please get saved. Ask Jesus to save you and fill you with the Holy Spirit, and seek Him with all your heart. Fast, and do it really fast, because we're at the last seconds before the clock strikes 12, and something happens, and the rapture takes place. And very last second. So even if you are saved or not saved, or not right, if you're backsliding, or even if you're saved and think you're all right, everybody needs to be repenting of their sins. I can't stress enough, we all need to repent. I repent all the time, and because we want to go in the rapture. You don't want to be left behind for the hell on earth that's coming. But these, going back to what I was saying, they have 1,500 children that they've detained at this one former Walmart FEMA camp. And I have a neighbor of mine that actually works at Walmart now. She don't think the Walmart does no wrong, because I guess they signed her check, but they do wrong, and they're evil. I think they work for the government. They work. They're in with FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security. They agreed to make them into FEMA concentration camps. All the Walmarts, most of them, I think, and they built tunnels underneath them, and they have railroad tracks to almost going to all of them. So trains and these box cars that people had pictures of, that has like chains that they chain, and cuffs that they cuff the person's hand to the seat in the train, and their feet, they cuff their feet to the floor of the train. They've had that, the shackles in the train, box cars that deliver people from all over into these former Walmart super centers that's now converted into FEMA concentration camps like Hitler had in World War II. I think this will even be worse than then. And they have all these guillotine machines that are going to cut people's heads off. They had 30,000 last I heard, but I think they ordered like thousands more. And if you don't take the mark, the beast, and worship the beast in his image, then they'll cut your head off. But you'll be much better not to take that I think it's RFID chip as a mark of the beast. You'll be much better off to not take the RFID chip or whatever, anything that you could buy or sell with, and mark in your hand or right hand or forehead. Don't take it, because if you get your head cut off, profess your love for Jesus and don't worship the beast, and while you're professing your love for Jesus, let him cut your head off, and you'll end up in total bliss in heaven. I don't even think Jesus let you feel it much. You'll be in total bliss. But do not take the mark, because if you do, you have no mercy. God will pour out a mixture without mercy or something like that, it says, and he'll give you no mercy because it changes your DNA. It gives you like a third strand DNA, probably makes you into some kind of beast, and you'll be totally controlled like a puppet. They'll be talking directly into your head, probably Satan and Antichrist and whoever else he lets talk into your head. They'll be totally controlling everything you do, and probably hooked up to the quantum computer and artificial intelligence. Who knows? But everything will be coming right into your head, and you'll be totally controlled and have to do whatever he tells you to do, Satan tells you to do, and you'll be totally owned by Satan from then on, and hell and everything, and you'll have no mercy. Do not take the mark of the beast. But these people, I don't know if they're doing that to these children, the poor children. I pray the Lord takes care and watch over those children. Please, Lord, take care of all those children that they're taking and the families they took the children away from. But they've got 1,500 kids, and they're stored them in these facilities. One on top of it, they got them little space blankets like that. And if you've been in jail before, I used to be wilder in my younger days. I'm not like that anymore at all. I've totally changed. But in the jails, they freeze you to death and turn the air conditioners on full blast, and you're lucky to get a regular blanket. But these space blankets are just like aluminum foil. They're not very warm, and they look like they're all frozen to death in there. They do that on purpose, to make it miserable for the people. It looks like they might be doing that there, because look how they're all covered up. But there's Obama. I believe he'll come back in power after they have a false flag attack on America, or something happens, a catastrophe, and he'll come back in power, and supposedly he'll be there to save the day. And a lot of people will think he's there to save the day, and he really is bringing in nothing but death and catastrophes on a major scale. And he'll be Satan incarnate, I believe, when he comes back, and pure evil when he comes back in power real soon. I believe that'll happen. No, they also lost 1,500. ICE lost 1,500 kids about a year ago, and no one has come forward and knows what happened to those children. Now the U.S. government says it's not responsible for the missing children. That happened. Another 1,500 got missing, and they don't know where they're at. Well, they probably killed them. I would bet they probably killed them. But this come out in the open because Senator Jeff Merkley, he was trying to make Trump look bad, and he had went down there to that. This is a former Walmart in, I think it's Brownsville or Houston, Texas. I can't remember. And it's now a concentration camp, FEMA camp, where they're holding them children. He went down there to make Trump look bad, pretty much, and brought it out in the open. He had heard about the children being held there, and this is what come out in mainstream media. But Trump's in on it. They're all in on it. He's the Illuminati. They wouldn't let nobody be in power or president unless they was in Illuminati and one of their guys. They wouldn't let nobody be in power as president unless it was somebody that Satan had picked out, an Illuminati that would let them be in power. But they're all been seen wearing those garbs, robes and stuff. Clintons, Obama, Trump, all of them, Illuminati garbs and robes that the Illuminati wears. I've seen them, and they all act like they're best friends, even Clintons and Trump and stuff. Even when they were supposed to be fussing with each other during the election, they was all buddy up to each other. And when they was in those garbs and stuff, when the pictures I found of them, of Trump and the Clintons, and even Hillary Clinton was buddied up with Trump like they're best friends in the world. And they probably are good friends, because they're in probably the Illuminati together. But they're taking these children to these former Walmart supercenters, turning into FEMA camps. They said the 2,000 more kids was put into these former Walmart FEMA camps in just a 6-week period. 2,000 kids was taken away from their families in just a 6-week period. Those poor people that now these have been going on for 4 years. These kids have been there, some of them for 4 years. This started when Obama is the one that passed the legislation to make this happen, and it was happening in Obama's term. And Trump, they was making him look bad, and it is his fault too. Believe me, they're all in on it. But the guy found out that it started in Obama's term when he passed legislation to make it do this, to take their families. They're punishing, I guess their way of punishing people for coming over here is take their child away from them. And it started 4 years ago when Obama was in there taking their kids away from them. And I'd say many of those parents will never see their kids again. I just pray for those families, and I pray for those children. That's really awful. You know, they probably have brothers and sisters. They may be in there together. They may brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. They have families, and they're missing them. And it's a shame that they're doing this. And they feed them 3 meals a day, and they said they have English and stuff like that. They can learn English and stuff, but it's, you know, it's miserable. You know, they miss it's children 10 to 17 years old. And you know that all those children, they don't know them and stuff. It's, you know, they're miserable, missing their family. Let's see. It's in Texas. You know, there were cities that had a lot of homeless population. Oh, look at Obama doing the one eye wink. It's like a Satan thing, you know, one eye winking. But they rounded up homeless people also some time back. And they rounded up in these big cities like Denver and stuff. And people said they saw all kinds of homeless at one point, and then just overnight they all disappeared. They said they saw white vans coming around like with government people jumping out of the vans and putting those people, the homeless people, in those vans and taking them off to those FEMA camps. And they said that there was buggies. They showed pictures of buggies lined up all down the side of the street, and the buggies had like the belongings of the homeless person. You know, probably their lifelong belongings, all they had on this earth as far as clothing and maybe a little bit of food. And they wouldn't leave them behind like that, buggies all down through there, the homeless, you know, for other homeless people could get them, or other people could get their only belongings they had to keep warm, the blankets and stuff like that. All the stuff still in the buggies. They had pictures of them, and they was lined up. No homeless person around anywhere. They said they don't even see none no more in those cities. And the buggies still lined up with their belongings in them, just all down beside the streets, everywhere. And they rounded up. They said that some of the homeless people come out and said they was trying to make them take the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, which I believe is the RFID chip. And said they refused it. Some was taking it. They said because they was offering them so much money a week or something to put on the chip in the bank account, like digital money, if they took it, and offering them other things to try to get them to take it. That guy said he would eat out of dumpsters first. I believe he said he's not going to take it. He's a smart man for not taking the chip, and I feel sorry for anybody that does, because they're going to be in total hell, and you know, the worst part of hell, without no mercy at all, if they take that mark of the beast. And it's a third strand DNA it'll put in them and change them into like a beast, and you don't want it, trust me. You don't want to take that mark, and you don't want to worship the beast. Just keep praising Jesus, let him cut your head off. You'll be in total bliss, I'm telling you. But there's cities where they done that. Those homeless people are no more. They don't even see them no more. They said it's like just overnight they disappeared. And they, like I said, they're trying to put the mark of the beast in which I think is the RFID chip in those people, the homeless. And I'd say they killed a lot of them. Probably, you know, just look at those things going on, just like Hawaii's got that volcanoes going on, and they've got FEMA down there right now, finding out everybody's name that's lost their homes and stuff. And I don't think I would go to FEMA. for any kind of help, because they're evil, and those people are lined up at the FEMA's right now. The people lost their belongings and their houses to sign up for help, and they're signing their name on there and information, and I just wouldn't do that. I would stay away from FEMA. Look at all the disasters that we've had, and the hurricanes and all that, and they said that people said that there's all kinds of people that's actually missing that was in those FEMA camps from those other disasters all over the United States. And heard there's another volcano in some other island yesterday, I believe it was, but they just keep on coming. These there's one of those FEMA camps, but these disasters just keep coming, and they're going to keep coming, and something bigger than ever is coming real soon. Like I said, Trump had that meeting with North Korea's leader on June 12th. When they say peace and safety, and it was dedicated to supposedly peace. Trump tweeted that you can sleep well now, there's total peace. And then, like I said, they made the coin to represent the meeting between Trump and North Korea and Singapore for the peace summit, or whatever they call it, to denuclearization. And they made a coin that says peace on it, representing that meeting. And it has a dove with olive branch holding its mouth or beak that represents peace. So there's peace and safety. Then next comes sudden destruction. That was on June 12th. June 21st is a good watch date for something to happen. I'm not saying it will, but if you study into June 21st, there could be something happen on June 21st or right after. I'm not saying we only God, Yahweh, and Jesus knows when something will happen, but I'm just saying that's a good watch date for something to happen. Pray that you're found worthy to go in the rapture. Pray that you're found worthy to escape what's coming on the earth. And pray that you're found worthy to stand before Jesus, the Son of Man, because you don't want to be left behind, trust me. For the hell on earth, it's going to be literal hell on earth. They had white vans that they was taking those people in. They also got the UN vehicles here by the thousands. People's had them photographed, UN vehicles. They actually put some kind of cover-ups on them to cover up the UN logos, so people wouldn't be able to see the UN logos anymore, like taped it on the side of the vehicles and then covered them up with tarps and stuff. But they've got UN troops. They wear like blue helmets and all kinds of UN foreign troops from the UN, which is, I believe, is United Nations, is New World Order, I believe, part of it. Anyways, and they've got troops that have been training here, and it's into 21, you know, and they've got armored vehicles, UN armored vehicles with UN on side of the armored vehicles, and they've got all kinds of white, they're all white vehicles with UN on side of them, white trucks, white vans with UN on side of them, thousands of them parked, ready to go, and those UN troops ready to go, and they're trained and ready to put everyone in FEMA camps when the disaster, the false flag or whatever happens that happens on America, and then they're going to put them people in FEMA camps when the Antichrist, Obama, which is Obama, I believe, comes back in power, and he's going to try to put the mark of the beast in you, make you worship the beast in his image. And if you don't, they've got 30,000 guillotine machines, and last I heard they ordered thousands more. So if you don't take the mark, they're going to cut your head off, like I said, but let them cut your head off. Like I said, Jesus won't even let you feel it or much, and then you'll be in total bliss with the Lord if you do let them cut your head off and don't worship the beast and don't take the mark. Do not worship the beast and do not take the mark of the beast, which I believe is the RFID chip. Don't take anything that will be in your right hand or forehead that will use to buy or sell, whatever you do. But they've got it already. And they've got, you know, those kids, it's just pitiful that they're doing that to those children, those families. I feel so sorry for those children and the families. Can you imagine, put yourself in that situation, and you're just trying to make a better life for yourself to come over and Don't say you wouldn't, because nobody knows unless you're in a situation. And you come over with your family, and then you separate, and they took your kids away from you, and don't know what happened to them, probably don't never get to talk to them, I don't know, but don't know what's going to happen. They lost 1,500 of them and said it's not their fault, they lost them. They probably killed them. Another 1,500 about a year ago. I mean, come on now, you don't just lose 1,500 children. And like I said, when you take that mark of the beast, it's going to change your DNA and give you a third strand DNA, and it supposedly, the way I understand it, releases the strand of DNA right as soon as you hit your bloodstream, so it will start changing your DNA right after, the way I understood. So you don't want to take it. Once you take it, it's too late. Like I said, FEMA, Walmart is evil. Like I said, my neighbor works for Walmart, and she thinks they don't do no wrong, but they are totally evil. They're in with FEMA and Homeland Security, and they're turning all these into FEMA camps, concentration camps. That'll be like the World War II they did the Jews. This time it's going to be on us Christians if we're not took in the rapture. The Christians left behind, it'll be like it was on the Jews in World War II that Hitler done to the Jews. And it'll be worse, I believe, because it says it'll be worst time ever has been, ever will be on the earth. And I believe it'll be even worse than that for the Christians left behind. So please, everybody needs to be repenting of the sins and get right with the Lord, because it's bad times coming. And pray for those children and those families, that they get back with their families and that they're all right, that those children are all right. Pray to Jesus and ask Him to watch over those poor children and that's in those FEMA camps, and pray that their families get back together, and pray for the families of the children. Bad times when, I tell you. And God bless you all. I love you all. Just want to bring you up to date on some of this things going on with these children and stuff. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.